So, hello everyone. I was just watching Ry- excuse me, Ryland Adams' 10,000 calorie video. Uh, excuse me. I'm kind of sick at the moment. I just had Taco Bell. I forgot my quesarito. I'm over it. It's fine. Anyways, um, so in the comments, holy shit. I don't know why I'm burping so much. I don't know why I'm like half hiccuping, half burping, but it's getting on my nerves. In the comments, there was a flood of people, and I know the comments are older, like a few months old now, of people who seem to be, or were at the time at least, obsessed with the drama between Shane and Ryland and Trisha. My favorite part about all these comments is that people seem to completely ignore the fact that she has a track record of losing friends for this behavior. Now, I'm not saying that what Shane and Ryland did was right, because I don't know the entirety of what was said between them and Trisha, so I'm not going to comment on that. But what I will say is that along with her, being friends with somebody and then seemingly destroying a friendship anytime she needs clout, attention, or views, there was an instance where she told the story about the hair by Jay and all that situation on a podcast, and then she told it separately in a video of hers. And in one instance, she openly admits that she was on drugs on the trip, and in another instance, the other retelling of it, she says she wasn't. There were no drugs. Now, that alone is enough for me to go, okay, I'm done listening to her horseshit. Aside from the fact that, like a month or so ago, she also falsely accused a dead man of being fired from his teaching position for being in possession of CP. And I'm not saying that the teacher in question didn't do anything to anyone or didn't do anything to her. I'm saying that she says he was fired. You can look up the charges, and it's blatantly a lie. You can't look up charges on that teacher. It doesn't exist. It was a different teacher completely, and it wasn't CP. It was P, just regular, But my opinion is Trisha is the one that has a lot of issues, and I personally think that she was ending yet another friendship for clout, attention, and views. And most of the people judging the situation are judging it as I am from the outside and acting as if they were in the inbox watching the conversation between Shane and her, or between Ryland and her. When they say she wasn't upfront enough, she might not have been upfront enough. You don't fucking know. She could have said everything except for what she said in these videos in the conversations. Also, people want to sit there and act like Shane didn't support her. She wants to sit there and lie and say Shane never went to one of her shows. Well, there is a video, one of his older videos, where he was still doing the podcast. On the podcast, he had Gigi Gorgeous. And they were talking, and it was only like 10 seconds before his video started. But they were talking about both having been at a Trisha show, and they were talking about it was like the end of the show, and everyone was all excited. And he tapped on Gigi's shoulder, and Gigi turned around and was making like a weird confused face. But they both corroborate that they were both at her fucking concert. But she sits there and says, Shane never went to my concert. No, 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 no. So, as far as I'm concerned, Trisha's a fucking liar. Does that make Shane a saint? Does that make Ryland a saint? No. But if there's many, many, many instances of someone lying, maybe take what they say with a grain of salt instead of blindly believing them. Now, I want to talk about the content of the actual video. I think he starts at 7 a.m., if I'm not mistaken. And he only eats till about, 3 or 4 or something, and then throws up and then gives up. Which I understand, he's a smaller guy, and he normally doesn't eat large portions. But, you know how some foods are not very calorically dense, but they are very filling? And then you have foods that aren't very filling, but they are very calorically dense? If I was going to do this challenge, I would make it a 24-hour challenge, first of all, because I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but that's what I would do. And I would specifically look up foods that are dense in calories, but not dense in, the actual serving size. Because technically, okay, in 24 hours, if you ate, 10 Big Macs in 24 hours, there's your 10,000 calories. And they're not very big. And I think that, at least I think that actually Big Macs might only be 600 calories. But maybe a Whopper or something like that. You know what I mean? I think one of the mistakes he made was that he started off with donuts. Because personally, for me, donuts are one of those things that expand in my stomach. I couldn't do that. But I also think that if he broke it down into a 24-hour time period, he could have done it. But at the same time, most of the people that do this from the videos that he was showing alongside his video and in his video are bodybuilders. And the amount of calories and stuff that bodybuilders usually consume, because they are on a strict diet and exercise regimen, is way more than what a normal person eats already. So their stomach wouldn't be that much further expanded than, what they're normally eating. They use all those calories, so it's not like they're sitting there eating and then sitting on their ass. But a normal person, Ryland's size, he's a small guy, okay? Even when he had gained a pound, he was still only 121, which I didn't even think he was that small, because I thought he was 5'8", and I thought he was maybe at least 140. But that's not me calling him fat. I'm just saying it's hard to believe someone being 5'8" and only weighing 120. Because he doesn't look he's skinny, but he doesn't look scrawny. You know what I mean? But then you have people like me. I've eaten 4,000 calories in a day and felt like I didn't eat that much. But then when I went back and added up everything I ate that day, I hated myself because I ate 4,000 calories. But I wasn't necessarily overeating. I wasn't necessarily, sick from it, which is a problem. But I am an overweight human being, and I will admit that. And then I wondered, could I do that if I did it in a 24-hour period? But I would start from the point of fasting. So, if I were to do it, I think I would just buy a bunch of, Burger King or something and sit there and pick at it all day. So I would technically be cheating. But, at the same time, is there a way that you have to do it? Do you have to do it in a 12-hour period? Does anybody know? Get ready to go into Walmart. And I have a cold. And I'm tired of life. Found out that there's a possibility I may be losing my job because of these vaccine mandates, because fuck Biden. So yeah, there's that. Work in healthcare, they said. You'll always have a job, they said. No, I do laundry. I'm not a nurse. That was weird. So I'm going to flip the camera and show you what was weird, okay? Well, I can't flip the camera. But there's a guy in like a blue like jacket with like darker blue sleeves and a gray hoodie and like khaki pants and boots, and he's walking into Walmart, and I'm giving such a specific description because he just put a random container of stuff behind the trash can. The trash can that sits inside of like the cart thing. He just put like this like container of there's you can't see the label because the back is facing out, but it looks like toilet bowl cleaner almost. And I think that's weird because he could have just thrown it in the garbage. Unless he put it there to pick it up when he came back out and he didn't want to carry it through the store and get accused of stealing. Which is possible, but like, why not just like hand it to the person at the door and say, hey, I don't want to get accused of stealing, so here's this. Can I grab it when I come back out? Because a lot of times they'll be like, yeah, you can leave that here. As a person who's had to leave their stuff with somebody temporarily so that I don't shit myself in the middle of Walmart. But I'm gonna go. Y'all have a good day.